A good rule of thumb is that when MAGA is freaking out about something, when these Trump supporting Republicans are just losing their mind, that typically means that something good just happened, right? It's pretty consistent in politics. You know, the 2020 election, MAGA Republicans freaked out, but a good thing happened. If Joe Biden was elected, democracy was protected, at least for that time being. We got to do it again in 2024. You know, Biden's infrastructure bill was passed. Marjorie Taylor Green lost it, said it was a bad bill. So did Donald Trump. But investing in infrastructure is a good thing for all of us. And this has happened yet again today because the House of Representatives passed some national security bills, one of those being funding for Ukraine, which is incredibly important. We talked about this yesterday in a different video. And all of these Republicans on social media and in Congress are just losing it. They are having their temper tantrum. They're kicking their feet in the middle of the grocery store like a toddler. That's how I view Marjorie Taylor Green. So we're going to be looking at some of these reactions from MAGA Republicans to this bill being passed in the House of Representatives. And I can assure you that some of these are just sort of funny because of how crazy they are, but then some of them are just genuinely concerningly insane. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But we're going to start with the first immediate reaction from the worst congresswoman out there, Marjorie Taylor Green. She spoke to reporters on the Capitol steps today, and she was just losing her mind. So here's that clip of Marjorie Taylor Green.
I think people have been too obsessed with voting for foreign wars and the murder industry here in America to actually understand how angry Americans are. When you have the strongest, loudest voices in the Republican movement and grassroots, furious, calling for Mike Johnson to be vacated. The people here, my colleagues, have not heard the message. So I'm looking forward for them to go home and hearing from the folks back at home. But this is the sellout of America today. When we had members of Congress in there waving the Ukrainian flag on the United States House of Representatives floor, while we're doing nothing to secure our border, I think every American in this country should be furious. Who's going to vote for these people? How can you vote for these people? They don't serve our country.
The Republicans deserve to call a vote on a motion to vacate eventually.
I don't think you were listening very well.
No, you said you wait for your constituents, but will you ever
call a vote?
But I mean, given what you said, do Republicans deserve to be in the majority?
That's up to the people, because this is the third betrayal by Mike Johnson.
Man, you can tell that she is so angry that Vladimir Putin is getting some pushback. And Ukraine is getting some much needed aid from the United States of America. We're finally going to start pulling our weight and adjust to everything that has happened in the war in Eastern Europe as of late, within the past year or so. She's furious. She called this a sellout of America. You know what's selling out America? Siding with Putin. That's selling out America. When you're on the side of the Kremlin and you're pushing their talking points, you're selling out America. When you are helping the people that Russia is against in a battle against Russia, that helps us. That helps peace. That helps sovereign nations who are allies of ours stay afloat. So what is this whole sellout America rant she was going on? And man, I have so much to say about this video. It's just so insane that she spoke so confidently and she was so confidently wrong. She was also talking about nothing in the bill being securing the border. Oh my God. They killed it. There was a bipartisan border bill. We've said this a million times. You know the story by now. Biden, Senate Democrats, Senate Republicans came to an agreement on a border bill, and MAGA Republicans, with the help of Donald Trump, killed the bill. They killed it. Donald Trump brags about killing that bill. He says, please blame me. That's what Donald Trump says at his rallies. He says, please blame me. And, she's saying another thing she said. The list is so long. She goes, Americans should be furious at this happening. No. Americans should be furious at folks like her for it taking so long to happen. Ukraine has needed this funding for a while now. We've known that they've needed this funding for a while now. There were some critical reports that came out in around December of 2023 that said that Ukraine was in a dire situation, that if they didn't have new funding soon, that they were going to run out of the aid, that they had no more weapons from the United States, and humanitarian aid was running dry. That was in December. It's April of 2024. It's a new year. It's April. So it took too long. We should be mad at people like Marjorie Taylor Green for it taking so long. And I loved how Manu Raju, the CNN reporter at the end there, asked her, do you think Republicans deserve the majority? And even her, for different reasons, even she was like, that's, for the people to decide. Absolutely not. The answer is no. The Republicans absolutely do not deserve the Republican majority. And she's saying, why are you going to vote for these people? Why would they vote for her, the cult member, the MAGA cult member, proud MAGA lunatic conspiracy theorist? She's saying, why would the American people vote for representatives who take steps to protect global security? How about the question should be better phrased as, why would anybody vote for a MAGA cult member, Marjorie? That's the question. I'm genuinely curious. I want to know the answer. Why would anybody vote for Marjorie Taylor Green, someone who's stood in the way of this aid, stood in the way of this progress? So anyway, so much to say about that video. I'll cut it short because I'm sure that you are also on the other side of the screen kind of, oh man, hand in face, just, feeling the same way I feel about the video. But I digress. We have a couple more responses to get through. And as I mentioned, both are very bad. So the first response I want to show you, aside from elected MAGA Republicans, are these more like social media MAGA Republicans. This one is from Kevin Sorbo, former actor who just rages online all day. And this is a post he put out on Twitter or X, again, whatever you call it. And he took a total of the votes for the Ukraine aid. And he goes, "This is treason. If you support this, you're an idiot." Really? So again, this is kind of the same logic that applies to Marjorie Taylor Green. This is treason? Supporting an ally in their fight against an enemy is treason. Really? Yeah, this is just absurd. I think that Republicans and these MAGA Republicans need to go back to like Civics 101. Just go learn about the Constitution. Go learn the definition of treason. Go take one law class ever. Take con law. Take an intro to con law, and you'll find out the real definition of treason. And you'll see that these two things, first of all, of course, supporting an ally is not treason, but it's not even in the same ballpark. It's like comparing grapes to Coca-Cola, right? Not in the same ballpark. Two totally different things. But the fact that they're raging this much, freaking out this much over their owner, Vladimir Putin, being a little bit angry today because representatives finally did the right thing, is so telling of the Republican Party. They're freaking out because Putin is angry. Jamie Raskin, we talked about this in a video recently, is that, Jamie Raskin put it perfectly. We normally have 3 branches of government, but it feels like we have 5, the 4th branch being Donald Trump and the 5th branch being Vladimir Putin. And I think that more and more, every single day, I'm certainly convinced of those 2 extra branches, at least in the eyes of MAGA Republicans, because this is not normal. Reagan and other conservatives, who I vehemently disagree with, by the way, are rolling in their graves right now with this stuff. It's insane. So that's just a almost stupidly funny post. It's so wrong. It's so embarrassingly wrong. That's kind of funny. I kind of laughed at that when I first saw it, like, oh man, I can't believe this guy is serious. This next response I'm going to show you is just genuinely concerning. Like, it made me read it a couple times to make sure that this wasn't satire, and it's not. So here's a response from a, bigger conservative MAGA account on Twitter or X, and he wrote a letter to Putin. Yes, seriously. He says, "Dear Putin, I hope this post finds you well. I wanted to let you know that a majority of Americans do not support the funding to Ukraine." Not true. First and foremost, sorry to stop it so quickly. Not true. Americans do support the funding to Ukraine. We do support standing up to Putin. I don't know what universe this guy is living in, but it's not ours. Anyway. We do, however, have a few that believe everything the U.S. government and media tells them. We call them, quote, sheep. These sheep are incapable of thinking for themselves and lack any common sense. Kind of a little bit of some irony here, I sense, because he's literally describing himself. He's describing MAGA, some sheep who just listen to whatever Trump tells them, right? seems, I think the irony is so present, it like slaps you in the face. Anyway, he goes on to say, I ask, don't blame us for the sheep and their actions. Signed, Real Americans. Here's my message. First of all, insane. But here's my message to Putin. Please blame us. Blame the common sense Americans for making your life harder. I'm perfectly okay with that. I don't want Putin to like us. I don't want Putin to like Joe Biden. I don't want Putin to like the Democrats and be on our side like he is on the side of MAGA Republicans. Blame us. Yeah, we take credit. We take credit for funding Ukraine. We take credit. I love it. This guy, apparently, he's so engulfed in the MAGA cult and so deep in loving dictators because his cult leader is a dictator that he's like writing love letters to Putin. He's writing an apology letter to a dictator. This is how far gone so many are in the MAGA Republican Party. And I always make it clear that I have friends who are conservatives, these moderate Republicans, people I love and care about, people I debate frequently, people I have fundamental disagreements with, but I don't think they're bad people. And there are many of those Republicans, I believe, still today. Some people you can actually sit down with and have a conversation with and disagree, right? Liz Cheney, I think, is a good example of that. Adam Kinzinger served on the January 6th committee, another example of that kind of Republican. That's not this. These folks truly, I think, are too far gone to have a conversation with. If you're writing apology letters to Putin for making sure that our ally is protected, then I can't help you. Right? I can't help you. So I had to like double take when I first saw it. An apology letter to Putin, and the responses agreed with the post. It's not like, oh, this is just one lunatic that's out of the ordinary. It doesn't count for everybody. It's like, okay, there's some exceptions out there. No. The responses under this post were, again, fueling my concern because it was like a lot of people agreed. So, but as I mentioned, when you see these kinds of responses, it means something good happened and something good did happen. We funded Ukraine. Well, at least it's passed the House of Representatives. It's going to the Senate. Probably have some good luck in the Senate, and then President Biden will sign it. But that's a good rule of thumb. When you see stuff like this, whatever the opposite is probably the right position to take. So anyway, I just saw these responses, had to share them with you because how insane is that? God, common sense is not so common anymore, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Anyway, we're going to leave the video there. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe down below. It goes such a long way. Drop a like on the video. Comment. Let me know what you think. Share the video with anybody you think needs to see it. And as always, I appreciate you being here and have a great rest of your day.